Hey guys, welcome to Grounded Roots Healing. I'm Jason. I'm an alchemist. And I wanted to talk about how we are all in the Truman Show. For anyone who's watched that movie, it's so prophetic. It's amazing to me how, not just that movie in particular, but how movies in general they're allegories to actual events that have happened. And then if you go even deeper, there is no actual happenings. I'll explain. So I apologize for the camera position here. I seem to have mislocated my light and my tripod, so I'll have to find that. But we move on. So you're in the Truman Show. Absolutely. With a few very key important differences. So for anyone who hasn't seen that movie, go watch it. But if you haven't, essentially what they did was take a child from birth, put it in an elaborate movie set, and raise the child as if the movie set was reality. Including marriages and his best friend, and everything was a fake. Everything was a fabrication. There was cameras everywhere, and everybody was in on it. Eventually, he caught on to this. He woke up, and then he tried to escape from the Matrix. So it's not unlike the analogy that I talked about last video, in which we were all living in an escape room. So the simulation that we're sitting in is essentially an escape room. And then one day you wake up and you realize that you work in the escape room. And then you start not taking the escape room seriously, and you go around trying to tell other people or show other people that the escape room isn't reality. So the key differences are, everybody else is also Truman. So the people you're in the movie, his wife was an actress who played a role as his wife and won awards and everything for it. It was kind of comedic, but the difference being your wife and your people close to you are asleep as well. So they're Truman as well. And also another key difference is you're the director of the movie yourself. So you wrote the story of your life, as well as your significant other or your friends or anyone around you. They wrote their story, and they're all integrated together. But we're all still asleep to the whole play. So you're in the Truman Show. So does that mean that nothing matters? None of this matters. Well, in the grand scheme of things, no, nothing does matter. There is no matter. So it can all be changed. It can all be... There's no permanent significance to any of this. You're an infinite being. You never die. You're doing this for entertainment and lessons. So, yeah, no, nothing really matters. But all of this entire system is based off of love. That is the only thing that has ever mattered in the beginning. It is the generating force for the entire illusion that we're all sitting in. And it originates from the center of your chest, just like a Care Bear. So, love matters. Your connections matter. The lessons that are learned matter. They're not for nothing. They are for growth. And You can't build yourself a giant stone monument and expect it to exist forever and everyone to remember who you are, because everything will go away. This is a playground that gets recycled and reused and rebuilt into new things. When the next iteration of this story wants to restart, it essentially wipe the surface of the planet, and then we start over again. This has happened many, many, many times, millions of years. This isn't the first go around for advanced civilizations on this planet, as well as other planets in our solar system. So it's a very long story, and we will be privy to the information. To that point, other movies, not just the Truman Show, but like Star Wars, it's also based off events that we wrote as a story that happened somewhere in the galaxy before. Look up the Orion conflict. That is the allegory for the Star Wars movie. So what's happening? Where are these people getting these ideas from? They're not pulling them out of thin air. What's happening is my analogy with the vinyl records and the timelines. Each record is a separate timeline. And on that timeline is the beginning of time and the end of time. And every person on the planet and that has ever been on the planet is on that record, on that single record for the timeline. So you can go back and go forward. Except that when we're in these avatars in this body, in this specific sequence of linear events, at this time, you can't see it. Unless you can go above the stack of vinyl records, which would be the astral plane. Within the astral plane, time stops existing. It doesn't really exist here. You have linear sequence of events, but we perceive it here. Well, when you go up out of the body into the astral space, you go out of time. You can literally look at these vinyl records from the beginning to the end and read the history of everything that's ever happened anywhere. So this is what they're doing. They're getting downloads from the Akashic record and they're writing it into a movie. Now, it's similar to what happened. It's not exactly the right thing. They had to change characters and put plot lines and all this stuff, but the general idea is the same. Star Wars, look up the Orion Wars. And then you have Star Trek. That's an advanced future of humanity on a timeline that you can follow the record, go up to the astral plane, get in the Akashic records, look ahead, and you see what? You see Star Trek and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, and none of these are original ideas. And the reason that they become so tremendously popular is because we all have an inkling of a memory or a knowing that this stuff has happened before and is real. It's the truth. So we resonate with it. It's in the background. It's in our mind somewhere, in the subconscious. When we go to sleep at night and we go traveling through the astral planes, we know this is true. Therefore, we can take some stuff back with us. You can become very proficient at doing that, actually. So there's no original idea. There's nothing original under the sun. It's all recycled ideas and reused. The Matrix movies, dystopian timeline from the lower three records as I describe it, where AI takes over. The Terminator movies, it just goes on and on and on. Predator movie, this is from places, and maybe the planets change, the names change, but the story stays the same. So one of my favorites is John Carter of Earth. I love that movie. No, it never took off. It never took any box office success whatsoever. But if you watch that movie, it's amazing. The the concepts, if you watch it from that perspective, where you realize that this is not a new original idea, he probably pulled this from something that existed in the past or in a different star system. But the concept is there, that this was the kind of thing that was going on at some point. Just a fascinating idea. Conan, another one. Think of the time between, let's say, the fall of Atlantis and the restart of civilization. Conan. So, that's just, I'm a movie buff, by the way. I love this stuff. So, The Truman Show, we're in it. Movies are just rehashed ideas. And, you know, it can become sort of nihilistic when you think about it that way. Like what I just said, you know, does anything really matter if it's all happened, or it's all going to be, you know, it's all projected into the future, it's all there. Why are we even doing this? You know, like you can incarnate a million years into the future when you go up in your next thing. There's no reason you have to go linearly other than to learn lessons. You can go back in time. You can do all of this stuff. And as stuff gets revealed on the outside, all the chaos that's going on in the 3D world on the outside, you may want to. You may want to get out of here. It's not going to be very much fun the next few years. It's not going to be much fun to watch. And like I said, the story's already written, so there's not really much you can change. You're just along for the ride. But there's a Chinese proverb that says, may you be blessed to be born in interesting times. And there is never been a more interesting time. It's a very interesting time to be alive. We're going to see some very, very cool things. It's going to be mind-blowing what you got to look forward to for the future. And the fact that there's nothing to really worry about. Nothing. Like I said, this is all fugazi. It's all fake. It's all to deceive you. And to deceive you into having fun and having an interesting time while you're here. So, relax. Just relax. Go along with it. You know, I don't know what's going to happen next for me. My outward life is it's challenging right now. I have financial stressors on me, as many people do in this world. It's getting difficult, and I've had to approach my old company about going back to work. And of course, the situation's worse than it has been. Money, the pay is less, the conditions are worse, everything's worse. It always is. This was the design of the 3D world in the first place. But I'm not looking at it as a permanent solution and something I have to do for the next 20 years. I'm looking at it as an opportunity, because I know if I have to go down that path, there's something interesting for me down that path. I don't know what it is yet. And it doesn't really matter. I just know there is something. But to that point, I need money. Many people do. It's a crying shame, really. And because there is it's only a remnant of the remaining vestiges of this system that we're stuck in. Eventually money won't exist either. Like I said, that there won't be maps, there won't be money, you'll be able to manifest whatever you want whenever you want it. You know, the Atlanteans were able to do this. They were able to manifest whatever they wanted. They just think it up and it would show up. They often made things by hand as a way to be creative. And they saw those things as more desirable if they were made by human hands and creativity was put into them. They had better energy. So they did prefer that. But, you know, anything was possible. Just materialize it. We're not there yet. So I don't know what the point of this video is. We're going to have some pretty cool things happen. You're in a movie. You don't know how this movie ends. So try to sit back and grab the popcorn. And as far as, you know, having obligations, you don't really have obligations, but what you're going to be tasked with as a, let's say, a light worker behind enemy lines, being activated early on in the awakening process of the whole collective that we're all in. This collective is, well, most of them are asleep still, very, very much so. Like I said in one of my Patreon videos, it's almost nobody who understands what I'm talking about. So if you do, you're very early to the show, and you're tasked with being a guiding light, being a strong guiding flame that as the people around you start to awaken slowly and slowly, you're the direction for them. You're the one who gives them, when everything's going to hell on the outside, and there's something very scary, and you don't even flinch. You know with every fiber of your being that it's going to be okay. Someone's going to look to you, and they're going to ask you, how the hell are you so calm? And then you can give them a good answer and help them along the path. So what's happening here is everything is energy. The entire collective is going through some stuff. If most of them are asleep to it, they don't know how to solve that energetic puzzle. It's like a mathematical problem. You get this energy and it drops down on you in particular as an alchemist. And then you solve it. So that's what I'm doing with these videos. You solve that puzzle. You're like, oh, I feel like that energetic puzzle means this to me in particular. So maybe you had some sort of childhood trauma that triggered that sort of feeling in you. Well, the collective as a whole is going through that same energetic puzzle. It's getting applied to the whole collective. You solving it and then showing other people how to solve it is the answer. This is what you're doing as a light worker. You're being a translator of energies. So the whole collective's getting this angst put pressure on us. And it'll come out in you as a certain way. And then you make peace with it. You become that guiding flame. And then someone, like a moth, will come to you. And then you'll be able to explain it to them. Or just be calm in that circumstance and show people that it's even possible to do that. In that way, you've propagated the solution to that problem through the collective. And then when there's enough of us, we'll be able to solve these problems quickly. So as I did all my shadow work last year, this is what I was doing. I didn't realize. I was solving all of these energetic puzzles in myself, explaining them on videos. Someone else is picking this up. It makes sense to them in that particular way that I explained it. And then they propagate that out through the system. And then there are millions of people like me doing this on the internet. Well, maybe not millions, but there's a lot of people doing this in their homes, on the internet, spreading the same solution and their particular way of explaining solving that puzzle, that mathematical problem, makes sense to someone out there. And then you see the cascading effect here. So, oh, my light died. I think it's time to leave it there. My shining light went out. Yeah, what I should do here is actually say I would really appreciate it if anyone has the means to go over and sign up for my Patreon. This is the best way you can help me continue make these videos. There are tiers over there, and the lowest tier I think is $10. So it's not an exceptional amount of money. And if you are capable, I would greatly appreciate your help. This is really going to help me, well, solve these energetic puzzles for as many people as possible. So, like I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you soon.